Alright YouTube, so we are back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and today we have something quite interesting. There's actually a kind of a mild Easter egg for Yuffie when it comes to Remake Part 1. This was actually pointed out to me with our last upload that we did. We talked about Yuffie for Part 2. And why I say it's a mild Easter egg is because it's not like somebody name-dropping Yuffie within the game, or like some NPC talking about some little ninja girl from Wutai stealing materia. It's nothing that direct. It's something that's easily missable, mostly because it's in Japanese. So if you don't speak Japanese, you wouldn't even catch it. This was brought to my attention by Zach Keo, who's a viewer of the channel, who's very knowledgeable when it comes to Japanese, and he comments all the time with like the differences between like the Japanese remake and the English version of remake, and like the different interpretations from, you know, the Japanese to the English and things like that. The dialogue's very different in this game, depending on which version you're playing. So we're just going to read over his comment really quickly, starting with the Yuffie stuff. As an aside, I got a cool little Part 1 Easter egg for Yuffie. The 4-part character compound for her All Creation limit break is part of the graffiti you can find in Part 1. It's rewritten with the Shinra kanji, but pronounced the same. In the tunnels, you can see in some places written in green kanji right there, while Yuffie's limit is that kanji right there. Both can be read as Shinra Banshu, I don't know. Yuffie's limit expresses the notion of all things found in nature, while the Shinra rewording makes it about Shinra's many victories. It's a neat little play on words, especially when you watch the video where Kenny Omega asks Katase about the origins of the name Shinra. So the graffiti he's talking about, I don't know if you can find it anywhere else in the game. I just know of the one he pointed out to me, which is in Chapter 13, A Broken World, which is, of course, after the Sector 7 plate is destroyed. And you guys work your way back to Aerith's house to see Marlene, then you work your way back to the Sector 6 park to work your way eventually to Sector 7. And more specifically, you can find this piece of graffiti after you have visited Marlene, and then y'all are working your way to the Sector 6 park through the tunnels. You'll find it on the wall. And it's the green graffiti in the top right of this picture right here. This is the kind of reinterpretation of Yuffie's Japanese limit break with the Shinra kanji. And we'll throw up a quick side-by-side so that you can see that they are the same symbols, just stylized differently because it is graffiti, of course. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't know shit about Japanese. I probably know -%. I know -% on how to speak Japanese and how to interpret it and things like that. I don't understand how the kanji can be mostly the same, but like one symbol's different, but they're pronounced the same, but they have two totally different meanings. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm just relaying the information being given to me. And as for the Kenny Omega Katase video, I finally watched that. I forgot about it, dude. I knew it was a thing back in March, but I just never got around to watching it. Finally did for the sake of this video. And within this video, Katase talks about the origins of the word Shinra, which derives from the word Shinwa, which means stories of God, which is very much what Shinra thinks they are, you know, trying to control the world and own everybody with Mako and things like that. And as Zach pointed out, it is very interesting when you look at the origins of Shinra, but also Yuffie's limit break, all creation, all things in nature, which is obviously God. God is all creation, all things in nature. They very much go hand in hand, which is maybe why they did the reinterpretation with the Shinra kanji. I just thought this was a cool little Easter egg or reference to Yuffie. Again, I don't entirely understand it. I don't speak Japanese. I barely speak the language that I do speak. Again, it's something that'd go over most of our heads, unless, of course, you speak the language. But I imagine a good portion of the remake Japanese audience would have got the reference or understood it or whatever, because they speak the language, of course. It makes you wonder if there's any other references to, like, some of the other characters, like, within the graffiti or just anywhere else in remake, maybe in Japanese. Because now we've seen Cait Sith within the game, during one of the cutscenes, of course, whenever Sector 7 is being destroyed. Now we have a graffiti that's in a roundabout way sort of referencing Yuffie. I wonder if there's something for Cid and Vincent out there within Remake Part 1 that just hasn't been found yet. And maybe those have already been found and I just haven't seen them yet. If there is like references to Cid or Vincent, be sure and let me know in the comments below. But if not, I think we should all get out there and kind of look around, see if we can't find something. Because we're this far into, Remake being out, almost getting close to a year old, and we're just now finding out about this, or at least I am. By the way, my dudes, that is the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Once I've done more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at DashingDavidYT. And my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description. Into the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Low Gain or leave it like Cobain.